Hey, welcome to today's video. I hope you're good. Today it's bank holiday in the UK, but if you are new to the channel and you want to learn on this horrible dull day in the UK, feel free to do so by hitting that subscribe button and pressing that bell button. I've got a ton of content. Now, Prime XBT. There's a recession coming, right? And I want to make that very, very clear. This gives you an opportunity to increase your Bitcoin using this trading platform. This is a sponsored review technically with the referral program that I'm going to be sharing a link to, but ultimately I've tested it, and like any exchange, I'm going to go through it, I'm going to teach you how it works, and I want to teach you the differences between why I like this compared to other ones on the market. Let's start. Right then, hello. Now, first honorary mention, link below is to this platform. Jump in, because the link below that is the money that I put in from other affiliate programs that I make from my YouTube into competitions. I'm going to do a severe amount of competitions via Gleam, a lot, because I like it. Why not? It's pretty cool. So, I've got a $50 one and I've got a $100 one. The next one, next week, that I'll be doing from the start of September will probably be about $200. A public, kind of company giveaway. So any money that I do make from these little affiliate fees, I'll be putting them all together and I'll be doing that. So that's pretty cool. Now, let's talk about it. This is different, right? I'll be honest with you. It's totally different to anything that I've recommended before. I've used Bybit. I use Bybit a lot for cryptocurrency trading because I like Bybit. But ultimately, I've also used BitMEX. I don't like BitMEX. I've already said that perfectly clear. I don't like it. It's rubbish. But this is different gravy. This is a different element, and I'm going to go into it and why I like it. So, disclaimers first. This is an exchange, right? Whatever money you put into this is not your own. Okay, you've got to remember that anything can happen to an exchange. Okay, it doesn't matter if they're good, bad, or whatever. Anything can go wrong with an exchange. So always remember that. Always protect yourself. One thing to mention as well, learn how it uses it, works even, or learn how to use it, more to the point. I'm going to explain some cool videos that these actually have for you, which takes you 20 minutes of your time to fully understand how this platform works. You're not going to get it all from just watching me in this video. But, again, like anything else, understand how it works. Understand leverage. Leverage platforms are dangerous if you do not know what you're doing. Again, the third link below is a free ticket into my free Telegram, obviously. So if you have any questions, jump in and say hello and go, I'm stuck, what do I do? I might be able to help you out, or someone might be able to. So let's go through it, okay? So, links are in below, jump in, say hello. It's really easy to sign up. You don't need KYC, you don't need any kind of mumbo jumbo, and I'm going to explain why I like this more than the likes of eToro and IG. Right, I've used IG, I've used eToro. There's limits on those for putting money in. I did a withdrawal. Oh, I didn't do a withdrawal. I did a deposit yesterday. I do apologise. Now, I've used the other platforms before. IG, £250 to start. It's quite expensive. 50 kind of elements that you've got to go through to kind of get an account, like such as questionnaires and all kinds of cool stuff. But most importantly, it takes time. This instant. And you only have to put in a tenner to get started, which is kind of the cool thing, to get used to it, which is what I've pretty much done. $12.50 in there, which is pretty much a tenner. Now, eToro again is the same. You've got to go through a lot of like hoops and hurdles, but most importantly, you've got to put in €500, £500, whatever, into it to actually physically trade. So it's a bit better for that. So that's why I like it too. Now, you're probably wondering, is it just crypto? No, it's not just crypto. You can trade cryptocurrencies. You've got Bitcoin, Ethereum, EOS, Litecoin, XRP, right? You can do it with USD or Bitcoin. That is cool. One big thing about Bybit is it's only USD. One big thing about BitMEX, it's only Bitcoin. This has a combination of two. So that is very, very good. Now, wait for it. You can also trade the recession, which is brilliant. So you've got oil. You've got the FTSE. You've got the Nasdaq. You've got the S&P 500. And you've obviously got, the other ones in other countries such as Japan, Germany, all that good stuff. This is very, very interesting. We'll go into that in a bit more detail in a bit. Now, you've also got the forex. this is a bit more different. And there's one thing that's really nagging me on this, it's in the wrong place. But, you know, you've got Australian, the Euro, Sterling and the USD. But you've also got the bottom here, which is in the wrong kind of place, is, you know, gold and silver. So there's absolutely huge amount of possibilities here where you can trade. Now, the reason why I'm explaining this first is because cryptocurrency can get quite boring. There's sometimes where it doesn't move and there's nothing you can do, but you can go on other exchanges and trade on, for example, gold. You can trade, you know, the forex, whatever. But this has got it all in one, which is why I'm recommending it. It's totally different. So let's go into it fully. Okay, now I've customized mine. Yours might look a bit different. You can move these around, okay? So you can do all kinds of cool stuff. You can put that on top, break it essentially, but you just move it around. You can play around with it. It's fully customizable and you can totally play with it. Now, to add a widget, it's just up here. I don't know what messages is, but we'll have a look. Messages, yeah, they'll go there. So you can play around with it and you can split them around and do all kinds of cool stuff. I just had a full chart at first, but I've moved it so I can show my positions for this video. It's a bit easier. But again, if you've got a big ass monitor, boom, you can get everything in one screen, pretty cool. And you can obviously have different things and you can play around with the S&P 500, you've got the crude oil and you've got the Euro and the USD. Looks pretty cool. Now crude oil is obviously doing quite well today. Well, it will be when it opens, but ultimately you've got to look at each one and see. But right now Bitcoin's a bit boring. Apart from that big massive spike last night, not a lot has been happening over the last coming weeks apart from this little region here. But just to make it nice and clear, it's fully customizable. You can play around with it, you can do all kinds of cool stuff. You've just got to get used to it. I will say this, it is quite confusing and a little bit different to any other platform I've ever used for a long time. It's totally weird, but you will get used to it. Now, in terms of how it all works, if you go to your account, deposit into Bitcoin, I've obviously done a little test trade just to make sure I know what I'm doing, but it's a totally different element when it comes to margin. It's not like Bybit, it's not like BitMEX where you can play around with a little tick and you go, oh, I'm going to go 100x today, I'm going to go 50x today, I'm going to go whatever. This is based off risk management. It's based off how much you put in to a trade and how much you're going to lose. I'm going to explain that in more detail in a bit. So this region here is very, very important. If you're going 100% full tilt, you're on higher leverage. If you're going less, you're on lower. Make sense? Hope it does. So that kind of thing. You've already got the 100x essentially. You've got the amount that you can trade with, which is pretty cool. And again, withdrawals took me about, I didn't do a withdrawal, sorry, I did a deposit because I've only just started obviously. It took about 35 minutes from me going from my ledger into the platform. So not that bad, but ultimately some platforms are better, but this has better security elements to it, so it asks for 3 confirmations, not 1. Some exchanges ask for 1 and it's quite risky in terms of it, you know, not the greatest opportunity for, you know, safety, but you know, it's one of those things. Now, other things to mention, you've got regular trading, you've got one-click trading where it explains exactly what you do. You basically just click in and go, boom, market execution. And you've obviously got another one as well, which is double click. Virtually the same. So, you know, personally, stick with the regular one so you can set your stop losses, you can set everything at the start before you get going. Now, let's look at Bitcoin. Let's do a random trade. Let's just press, I don't know. Should we go long? Yeah, let's go long. Now, all these numbers here, all different elements that you need to make sure that you understand. Now, this is basically your size of what you want to go for, and essentially what happens is it doesn't matter, you know, that goes off your leverage. This here I'm going to explain to you. This is if I'm putting a 1 cent basically amount as a buy order, that's how much it would be. It's because the leverage is already impacted onto it. If I put in $1, 0.01, which we all know is quite a bit of money these days. So you've got to look and remember how much you've got. Now I've got $12.50 in my account, pretty much exact at the minute, equity. So the more I put in, the more I'm playing with. And then that'll mean I'll have a lot higher leverage. And what will happen is if I'm using multiple positions, it can draw money out of each position to make sure you've got the liquidity. So you're not going to get liquidated or any sort of issues. Default market setting is on market, but obviously for less fees, do it limits. Now you've got duration as well. These will close at a certain time however, whenever, these will close. less fees. But on this one, it'll just go to cancel essentially. So you've got to be careful of what you're doing. You've got to know what you're doing. Now again, this, you just put any sort of thing. Now if I put in, let's put in, I don't know, 0.02. If I put a buy order in now, I'll wait a second. You can put in a stop loss as well. You can put a stop loss in straight away and a take profit place, which is quite good as well. So if I just go buy and send the order in as market, there you go, it's in. Boom, your order is in. I've gone long at whatever price, and yeah, that's it. Simple as that. That's it. Personally, I prefer market orders on leverage platforms. Just do. I always have. If you want to do limit orders, go for it. But if you want to close the order, it's relatively straightforward. So you can see here, current price, your profit and loss, and obviously where your stop losses and take profit are. They're really, really straightforward to kind of do, and you can see your order here. When you got a stop loss on, you can see it up there. When you got your take profit, you can see it up there as well. So if I just go onto here, you press cancel, and you just press close order at that price, close position, and I get profit there. Simple as that. That is how easy the platform is. It's really, really straightforward. But for you to see your trades, you go to my account and you can see your trades. So obviously I've just made a little bit of profit there, nice and simple. Trading isn't always, it's a hard game, but if you know what you're doing, it's not too bad. Now I probably would have made literally hardly anything on there because of the fees. So you got to make sure the fees are obviously down 3 cents. The fees are so important to any leverage platform. The more you're willing to risk, the more the fees are going to be. So make sure you understand how the fee structure works. It's relatively straightforward on every single platform. It's pretty much the same, but this does have similarities in terms of other platforms. Now, if I kept that long going, it would have been quite good. Still going up, pretty cool. But ultimately, I'm here just to show you. So make sure you check out the fees. Now, in terms of all the other stuff that you need to be aware of, okay, let me go through it. System preferences. Make sure you've got all your bits and bobs on. Make sure you got your authenticator on and all that good stuff. And obviously make sure that you understand how the whole leverage platform works, because it is massively important. Again, all this kind of stuff here, it's easy. Deposit to wallet and then you put it into your trading account. You can have a wallet here, okay? But you can also have a trading account. You've got to move your money when you put a deposit into your trading account for it to work, okay? So that's basically it. Withdrawal, I've never actually done a withdrawal, so I can't actually explain how it works, how fast it is, but they do them all once a day. Between 12 and 1400, they will do a withdrawal. So there you go. It holds it for a bit of time and it does it, and obviously it tells you it's got a bit of a transfer fee. So make sure you are aware of all these transfer fees. In terms of other things to mention, this here is really cool. You get a full tutorial. These are all like 6 or 7 minute videos. They're pretty good. How to place a trade, how to deposit, how to kind of set your profit and loss, understanding leverage. And that's very, very good. And again, all this kind of stuff on here is useful. Go into the help center. This is one thing that you need to be aware of. Look and read on this. This explains everything. Now, fees. Here we go. You got the overnight financing and fees and all kinds of good stuff, but you've also got other fees here. They will be more on cryptocurrency, they always are. So be wary of that. Up to 100x, and this is kind of the instruments that you got, and it tells you the prices that you kind of have, and all the fees you got at intake. So this is a trading fee, and this is how much you lose per day on the financial long. So this is not ideal if you're holding for a long period of time. You will lose a little bit, but it depends on things. If you holding that, it's a crazy amount that you'll be losing depending on the size of your position. So make sure you are just a positional trader. Now, other thing to make sure is this as well, margin requirements. This. So from you to go to certain elements, you've got a margin requirement. You've obviously, if you're using like literally 99% of your whole balance, you're on 100x pretty much. If you use a bit less, 50 and then 10. So the maths is totally different. It's not like the other ones where in terms of Bybit or BitMEX where you've got to slide a little bar. This is you doing proper risk management when you're actually using this. You've got to actually physically feel what you're doing, what you're playing with. So this gives you a good breakdown of how it all works, and it's so important. And again, it depends on what you're trading, but other things, other instruments, they're different. So if I go quickly back over into the platform, let's have a little look at CFDs. Let's have a little look. So if you've got CFD, and we'll go to the FTSE 100 here, you could either press the trade button and not look at the chart, or you just open it up like that. Again, this is crazy because you can use Bitcoin to grow your, your portfolio by trading, weirdly, the actual elements of, stock market, which is cool. So if I go UK 100 in the bar here, it brings it up. Nice and easy, very, very simple. And again, if I just move it in so I can actually see the thing, it's a bit different. It's harder to work, it's harder to maintain and manage, but ultimately it is quite a pain in the ass. You will get used to it. It is a bit different to any other platform I've ever used. You will get used to it, but again, you can use TradingView or other trading kind of tools to kind of look at the FTSE chart. They're all pretty much the same in terms of what prices they're going to give. Just make sure you are using the correct instruments on this platform when you're making your trades. That's all you need to worry about. So again, FTSE, again, I'll do a market sell order. I can do this. I don't know if there's a different thing on this one. Oh, it's got to be over 1 for this one, so you've got to have at least 1 in, and you could do your sell. Now today is a bank holiday, hours are a bit skewed, but ultimately, you could trade this on most days. It's crazy when you think about it, that you can be using this and you can be short on the S&P 500, which in my honest opinion, we're going to get a recession soon. And if you're going to do shorts for periods of time, you're going to be looking at this. You're going to be looking at it. You've got to be looking at it. There's no option but to look at it. So if you can trade on smaller time frames using the tools in front of you, and you know what you're doing, go for it. Just go for it, because if you're willing to risk a little bit of Bitcoin to make Bitcoin, why not use it on the recession? That's all I want to say. So this is kind of everything that I want to go through, but there's one thing coming, which is co-vesting. Co-vesting is like a copy trading sort of platform. This is coming in the next coming weeks. This is obviously just showing what's happening, and this isn't actually live yet, but it is coming out very soon. More information is here, so all the kind of interest is coming. It will be happening, so it's pretty cool. So if you're not the greatest trader in the world and you want to copy someone, you can. I don't kind of endorse that, but ultimately the option is there. So that's kind of PrimeXBT. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a bit different, I know. It's harder to figure out, but you will get used to it. But the options on this platform are way better than the likes of BitMEX and Bybit. That's why I recommend it and why I like it. To be able to just trade in one place to do CFD, Bitcoin, Litecoin, etc., and also the forex is kind of crazy. I don't trade forex, but the FTSE and the S&P 500 and even oil is kind of like getting me quite excited about putting a little bit of Bitcoin in. Probably pressing the short button in most elements and go for it. And even long on gold, if the recession is happening, kind of makes sense in my eyes. So there you go. Link is below. Make sure you sign up. All proceeds will be going to competition, so you can win some Bitcoin. Obviously, Bitcoin competitions are also linked below. Make sure you jump on it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.